Welcome to Aquaremote tutorial number 3, Setpoint and Speed Control for both PC and mobile device. It's important to note here that in order for this functionality to work correctly, there needs to be a VFD installed on site. So in Aquaremote we have two types of motor control systems. We have soft starters or DOL starters or start elder starters, all falling under one platform. And then we have VFDs, and the reason for that is that you have this additional functionality within inside the VFD platform, which is set speed control and set point control. So we're looking at one of our clients here who have a 75 kilowatt VFD, and we're looking at the screen here under control, and we have speed control and set point control. Now there's a relationship between these two features. So that relationship is essentially this toggle. If this toggle is off, set point control is not enabled, and then therefore the primary controlling function for the particular pump is via speed control. Now there's 8 predefined speed control settings here and a toggle up and down so you can change it via 1 or so hertz. We have a feedback in terms of what the actual RPM is in relation to the full range. So if I wanted to change my frequency, 50 hertz being the maximum, to say 30, press apply, and then the user could define 30 hertz as their output speed, or they can manipulate it whilst it was running by up and down toggling. And then the feedback you would see is the pump pressure and so forth would change to represent what the speed reference is in relation to your particular pump. So it's quite simple, quite a simple way to control pump sets via fixed speed. However, if you're interested in controlling your system from a feedback loop, be it at the pump set or out in the field, well then you would enable the set point control. Now what that does, it means that inside the variable speed drive there is a PID loop, which effectively allows you to set up a reference point, and then via a sensor you have feedback back to the variable speed drive, and you can create, I guess, a relationship between those things. And the relationship is diminishing in the sense that there will be an error created, and the variable speed drive through the PID will manage that process and diminish the error, and then therefore you'll be running at the reference that you want. So the features in here include enable, disable, which we've talked about. Is the set point control enabled? Is it on? So is it actually running? We effectively have a bypass in here as well, so you can set a time, so you can have set point control enabled, but it's not active until the set point in time. And you can see here that if that was the case and you had enabled it, but the timer is counting down, you would see a frequency that the pump set will run for that period of time until the bypass is extinguished and the system becomes active at set point control. You have the ability to set what that is. In this case we're managing based on pressure, so we could say 120 psi. So what would happen is, after the set point control became active, the pump would start to manage itself back to that point through the PID in the drive. And you can change this to what you want. Now it's important to note that this particular one's set up based on pressure, but it could be based on flow, it could be based on some elevation in a dam or a waterway, or any other feedback sensor that we could use. So for example, you might use it on a pivot where you've got end span pressure and your pivot is being changed in elevation and also flow rate. So these would reflect these changes in the system, and you can see those changes, and the system would manage itself accordingly. And then it could be linked to things such as output costs and kilowatt hours, and you can manage the system that way. But we'll talk about the monitoring side of the system a little bit later on. So in the mobile version, it's quite similar. We can have a look at the same client and how you would manage that in the field. So this is the same pump set. So if we go here, we can see that we have set point control, And we have the same things in the screen here. You know, we can manage and change this to what we want. We can set these times, and we can disable, enable, or we could use the speed control for the same functionality. So those things could be manipulated. So you can imagine in the field this would be a very handy tool if you're looking at feedback from your pump set and you're looking at your irrigator or your water management system and you're saying, oh look, I just need to manipulate things a little bit. This gives you the functionality to change on the fly what those speeds are that you're outputting. Thanks for watching. Please take a look at the other tutorials in the Aquaremote range. And if we can help any further, please contact us. Thank you.